Hey everyone, it's Dave Kotz from CPR to CEO. Today we're doing some work on lifeguard training because it's the middle of lifeguard training season. So I want to talk about the essential equipment you're going to need to teach a lifeguarding class. Now remember, you can't teach a lifeguarding class with a bathing suit and a whistle. You're going to need some serious equipment. Here in this episode, we're going to go over what that equipment is, where you can get it, and the different choices you may have. Here we go. You're going to need some rescue tubes. So these are not the rescue cans that you might see at the beach lifeguards or from your history watching Baywatch. These are these flexible tubes that lifeguards use for pool, water park, anything that's non-surf environment. You're going to need one rescue tube for every 2 students you have. So for a class of 10, you're going to need 5. You're also going to need mannequins, CPR mannequins, and you're going to need an adult and infant mannequins. Child mannequins are nice. They're optional. You're going to need some AED trainers. Those are important too. You're going to need backboards, both spinal backboards for someone who has a spinal injury and a backboard that you're going to use for extrication. Could you use the same backboards? Yes. Pro tip from us, we separate these. So we have 2 different backboards that we use, separate ones for spinal, separate ones for extrication. The spinal ones are going to need at least 1 strap for training purposes, and they'll need some type of head immobilizer device. And there are a couple different ones. We'll talk a little bit about the different choices you have there. You're going to need some type of first aid equipment. So that's going to be some bandaging equipment, some dressings, definitely need those. Pocket masks and hip packs. So we actually give these to the student as part of the course fee. We find it an essential part of being a lifeguard. We include it in the course fee. And of course, we brand that to us, which is cool. So you could use reusable pocket masks and you could have hip packs that people could borrow. We just like having everyone get their own and put their name on it. It seems to build some esprit de corps, as it were. Now let's get into the details about how to make this work efficiently. We use an equipment bag that's not an equipment bag. We actually use a Christmas tree bag, literally from Home Depot, that stores all our rescue tubes in it very conveniently. So we generally bring 6 rescue tubes to a class. So that's 1 for every 2 participants. Again, the maximum class is 10. So we have 5 tubes for the participants plus 1 just in case things can and do go a little wonky. So that is the best hack. Thank you, Eric Hammermeister, for sharing that with us. It's really convenient. There's a instructor backpack that the American Red Cross has. This is an excellent tool for carrying all the essential manuals, 900 and some odd pages for the instructors. So you're going to need a backpack, and frankly, need a truck to bring these in. You'll need a stopwatch, timer, whether you're using Timex 1.0 or you're using your iPhone to do this, that's fine. You're just going to need something to do the timing. There's timing for the prerequisite skills. There's timing for the final skill scenarios. There's a couple times where you're going to need a stopwatch type device. What we find essential and what is lacking, unfortunately, in many classes we teach or we see is instructors need access to these skill charts and assessment tools. So this is a critical part for the instructors to evaluate the students' skills, whether they meet the standards or not. And again, remember, for lifeguarding, we teach to the standard, but test to the objective. But the instructors need to know what that is. So having that in your hot little hands is the best way to do that. So those are found in your instructor manual, and in some cases in the deck guide as well. The Red Cross has the deck book, which is wonderful. It contains all the scenarios, great pictures of examples of what the skill should look like, but it does not contain the skill charts and assessment tools. So you're going to need those. Stargard Elite has something a little different. They have all this important information on effectively what are dive tablets. So these are hard plastic items that you can clearly take in the water. They're designed for in-water use, whereas the American Red Cross deck book, it's water resistant, but it really don't want to get it wet because then the pages stick together. Again, they're wonderful. We're going the right direction with the Red Cross deck book. StarGuard Elite has really taken it to the next level with these dive tablets that are enormously convenient. You will, however, need a whistle. So we joked at the beginning about how you can't teach a lifeguard class in a whistle and a bathing suit. You're going to need those as well. So you're going to need to get in the water. So you're going to need a bathing suit, and you're going to need a whistle with a lanyard, hopefully a breakaway lanyard. Can a whiteboard be helpful during the class? Absolutely it can. Sometimes you need to go over a diagram or discuss how to do a skill or how you're going to do an exercise or how the flow is going to be for especially larger classes. So a whiteboard at the pool deck is enormously convenient. So now let's talk specifics. Let's go with rescue tubes first. There are a wide variety of rescue tubes. We prefer some from Aquamentor. This is a company that's in New Jersey that manufactures in New Jersey. We're a New Jersey-based company, so that's convenient. They make a superior, in our view, rescue tube, and it's a wonderful choice. We'll have these available on our website, so you can order them from us. They have a textured or kind of knurled surface, which aids in both gripping it, and it reduces people who pick at the tubes and destroy them. So we believe that is the best choice for rescue tube, but there are countless other sources for rescue tubes out there. There are long rescue tubes, there are short rescue tubes, there are rescue tubes in a variety of colors. Interestingly enough, when we teach, we try and use exclusively blue rescue tubes. That indicates to us that's a training rescue tube and not used in live rescues. We tend to keep those as our red tubes that we use for live rescues. That's just what we do. You can do you, but that is one good choice on how to differentiate your equipment or what is supposed to be for rescue use and what is for training use. We've talked on several different episodes about manikins, CPR manikins specifically. We still prefer the Lifeguard manikins. We find them to be enormously durable and field repairable, and we love them. For the deck use, we do not use the electronic ones. For dry use, we do use the CPR manikins, which deliver real-time feedback to an iPad or other device so that people, your students, will get instant feedback about how they're doing. It actually does the chest compression fraction calculation for instructors, which is wonderful. That saves a lot of stopwatch use. It scores the students. It's almost like a game. And it's not. It's real practice and gives them real-world feedback. And again, the objective here in CPR is to deliver a chest compression fraction between 60 and 80. This device, the CPR device, does that very well for you. There are other manikins which have feedback devices as well. Next most popular is probably the Preston manikins. You have a couple different choices. They have something like the CPR, but they also have ones that have 3 different lights on the shoulders, red, green, and yellow. And that gives you some feedback on your compressions as well. Next up is AED trainers. You're going to need a bunch of these. You're going to need one for every 3 students, so 3 or 4 for each class you're teaching. We use some little yellow mini AED trainers. We find them to be the best value for training. There are countless other choices available, both from the American Red Cross, from Preston, and other sources as well. You choose you. We like the little mini AED trainers, and we'll have those available on our web store as well, which should be linked down below. Backboards. Backboards also come in a variety of sizes. The 2 most popular ones are the CJ style of backboards. You can get them directly from CJ or from Rise Aquatics, which is the Lifeguard store. They are a little taller, a little wider, and have attached Velcro straps. We use these for spinal backboarding on a regular basis. They come in 2 different styles, the plastic and wood. We prefer the plastic. There are some advantages to the wood. They have very robust runners to them. So sometimes if you have a difficult deck, the wood one with the robust runners can be advantageous. So that's what we prefer and tend to use. But we also in every class include what most people think of as the standard backboard, a plastic backboard that you might find on an ambulance or fire truck. And then we have some foam head blocks that go on them as well. We like to use both of those in our classes because it exposes the students to the two most popular types of backboards that they're going to find when they go out into the real world. So both of those are available. The only thing I'll mention on backboards is while the training environment for the Red Cross has one strap to the backboard, several municipalities or states require additional straps. So just be aware when you're doing training in wherever you are, what the training requirements are and what the additional requirements for your state Department of Health may be as well. Dive bricks. That's the next thing we got on my list. Dive bricks, you can have the official dive brick, which you can buy from the Lifeguard store or anywhere else you can find quality aquatic products. That's great. They're fairly expensive. You can also go to Walmart and get a 10-pound neoprene covered dumbbell for probably $6 or $7. Choose that. It just needs to be 10 pounds. Does not need to say official dive brick on it. A couple different ways you can source all this equipment. At some point, we're going to put together like a basic lifeguard pack. So everything you need to teach a lifeguard class, one button, hit it, we'll send it to you. You'll be good. We don't have that available yet, but it's coming soon. You can also find used equipment on Facebook Marketplace from other instructors you may know. Alternatively, this equipment may already exist at the facility that you're using, and you may not have to provide any of it at all. That's wonderful. I wish that happened more, but it doesn't. Sometimes when we go to facilities and they say, oh, yes, we have everything, we arrive and the equipment that they think is wonderful does not meet our training standards. And we like to have very high training standards and provide excellent equipment for our students. So we tend to bring all of our equipment with us. Again, if you're training at a specific place on a regular basis, the equipment's in good shape and good condition, fine. If not, just be suspect if they say, oh, yes, we have everything. And then you may arrive and it may not be everything you imagined. So we talked a little bit about storage of equipment and transporting equipment with those Christmas tree bags. Again, airflow is important. You don't want your equipment to get moldy or mildewy. So store it in not necessarily the pool deck environment. In an air-conditioned closet somewhere is a good choice. The other thing you can do is, particularly to the CPR mannequins, they make several different bags that you can transport these mannequins in. Some of them have wheels. So that's cool. Additionally, you can have a rolling cart. So a rolling cart may contain your mannequins, your rescue tubes, your written material, your dive brick, so forth and so on. And there's a wide variety of rolling carts that I've seen people use with various degrees of success. We'll share with you a couple ones that we've used. Check it out. If that works for you, thumbs up. All of this makes a difference. Do you have a permanent location where you're going to store everything? Or are you a mobile instructor where you have to continuously bring this equipment to and from a pool location or a classroom or a different location every weekend? That's going to make a difference, and it's going to skew you one direction or another. Maybe that rolling cart makes a lot of sense. All right, story time. How did I start? So we started out with gear that we had acquired from local facilities that we were teaching at on a regular basis. So they had the gear, it was working. We started with that, and that is how we literally got started. So there wasn't a huge capital outlay when we were started 20 something years ago. Don't wait for the perfection. Start with what you got. Get this process going. It needs to be quality gear. It needs to work and be functional, but it doesn't have to be QCPR mannequins with electronics. You can start lifeguarding classes with 2 backboards. 3 is ideal. You're not going to be able to do a 10-person class. If you're teaching a 6-person lifeguarding class, which is a nice size, you're going to need 2 backboards, 2 mannequins, 2 adults, 2 infants, and you're going to need a dive brick, and you're going to need 4 rescue tubes, all of which is much less expensive than buying the full set of equipment for a class of 10. So that's a great way to get started. Think about that. Gear can come with time. You can start with a small amount of gear. Yes, we are close to 100 mannequins at this point, more backboards than I can shake a stick at. Trailers. We're not just using carts. We got trailers for our equipment. But we do large classes at just different locations throughout the country. Trailers make sense for us. What I want you to do is, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel here, CPR to CEO. We'll continue to publish content about tips and tricks and how to run the most efficient classes known to mankind, whether that be lifeguarding, CPR, or almost anything else. We really appreciate you coming here and spending some time with us today. Please make sure to like this video. Tell us what you think about it in the comments below. That really helps the YouTube algorithm. We hope to see you back on both our channel and in the classroom. Thank you so much. Have a great day.